Hello there people, hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to another video, and first things first, if you like videos about fragrances, and in that case do hit the like button, subscribe, because on this channel you literally get a video every day about a fragrance, either in terms of first impressions or a review, right? So today we're going to talk about the million-dollar question that's happening with everybody, or everybody's thinking about it, is should you get the original Khamrah or should you go in for the new flanker, which is the Qahwa, right? So on this particular video today, we're going to compare between the two. We're going to find out what is the scent profile of each one of them, how are they different, what is the scent profile and projection, and the most important thing, we'll answer the question, which one should you get, right? So you're watching the Perfume Experience. My name is Rodney. Let's get started. Alright, so both of them are here. I have a 50 ml of this and a whole 100 ml of this. Both are fantastic fragrances, and if you look at the presentation, this comes in a clear bottle where the juice is amber in color. Now this, like I said, comes in a slight brownish bottle where the base is very dark and giving you brown texture, right? Now in terms of a box, the box is almost a similar type of a box. This is the Qahwa box, which is almost brown in color, okay, and this is a little more lighter brown in that way. I've kind of kept the box aside, but basically you get this idea. The presentation is almost the same, which is like this. This is the kind of the glass plating that you would get, and the bottle sits snugly fit into this kind of a box where there's a hologram at the back and all of that. So just that about the presentation. Let's get to the crux, which is what is the juice about, right? So this is the original Qahwa, and like I said, this is a very ambery, beautiful fragrance, and this is very popular last year across many people. So let's do a quick couple of sprays, okay? And let's also, in the meantime, while this settles, let's also pick up the Qahwa, which is this brown beautiful bottle, and let's also do a couple of sprays. Okay, so I feel the sprayer on this one is much better than this one, so I feel the sprayer is changed. Okay, so maybe that could be just me, but I feel this produces a much better juice, right? Okay, now what do you get right at the top? Now if you look at Fragrantica or any of the sites for notes, you will see that Khamrah opens up with cinnamon, cardamom and bergamot. Okay, now this one opens up with cinnamon, cardamom, and this has got ginger. Okay, now the second part, or the heart notes, you will see that this has got dates, okay, as one of the element, and there is some floral notes. There is, I think, tuberose on this particular fragrance, so that is one element that you would see. Here on the heart notes, there is candied fruits, that's the primary element, and of course you have a little bit of other elements, but candied fruits is primarily the difference, and there is one other floral element on this one. Now when you go into the third part, which is the base notes on this particular one, that's where you have a lot of vanilla, you have tonka beans, you have myrrh, you have benzoin, those kind of note elements on this particular fragrance, giving it a little bit of a smoky element, okay? And there is something else which I'm forgetting, but there is another element on this particular fragrance as well, right? So yes, Akigala wood. So that has got a bit of feeling like oud, in a way, but that is primarily the element on this particular fragrance, right? Now on this one, you would notice that it's primarily got coffee at the bottom, okay, and then the vanilla tonka beans part, I think, remain the same. So that is another element. So that is right off in terms of how the notes are, right? Now keep the notes aside, and then when you start talking about how the fragrance smells, and that's where you will notice the difference. So this particular fragrance opens up as a very sweet, boozy kind of a vibe, a cinnamon sweetness, the cherry, the cardamom sweetness, and then there is a date sweetness that is there, and then of course you have a little bit of that smoky elements that's there from benzoin and all of those elements, but still the woody notes is there. On the whole, this is very sweet, very beautiful, very energetic, and this is apparently supposed to be a clone of Angel Share, but I would disagree with that, because this is, although it leans a little towards the Angel Share DNA in terms of its signature strength, or let's say for example the DNA, the flavor of the fragrance, but I really think this is leaning on its own as an individual fragrance, which is more of that dates and the cinnamon and all of those elements. So that is definitely here. Now when you consider about this particular fragrance, what you find differently is right at the top you get a very beautiful note of that coffee, okay? Now while you put this on, although you get in the top we're talking about cinnamon, cardamom and ginger. Now I would still say that it still opens up with a very beautiful note of coffee, and then after a few minutes time is when you will get all of the elements that's there in the Khamrah DNA, minus probably the slightly element of smoke. Okay, now the boozy element is still very much in this particular fragrance as well. So that is still that you will get. But the best part about this particular fragrance is that opening that you get because of that coffee note, though that's there in the dry down or the base note. This is right at the top, and that continues to enchant you for the first 15 to 20 minutes to 40 minutes time, I would say, pretty loudly. After which, like I said, it kind of leads towards this particular fragrance, which is more of the DNA of this fragrance itself, right? Now here there is also tuberose, which has also got the slight floral element that is there, but then on the whole both are extremely sweet type of fragrance. Now another extremely good difference that you will find is in terms of performance, and that is where I found between the two what really makes a huge difference. Now Khamrah, for example, if you do about, let's say, 10 to 12 sprays, which is a full wearing, you will get that it is pretty loud for the first 2.5 to 3 feet and good for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. It's pretty loud, okay, very loud. You will feel the fragrance all throughout for that first 2 to 3 hours time. Very good. After the third hour mark is when I see this particular fragrance going down a little bit. It becomes softer and softer, but it's on your skin for about 7 hours easy, 6 to 7 hours easily it's there on your skin. And in apparel you can see a little more longer, maybe about another hour, but on the whole this is performing really good. If you do a full day wear in the morning, it is there almost till about evening time, but after the 3 o'clock, I would say after about 6.5, 7 hours time, it starts to become very skin close, but that is still very good performance considering this fragrance, which is a more although the scent profile of this particular fragrance leans a lot towards evening, I would say this is because of the coffee note, this is an excellent day wear type of a fragrance. Now in this case, the performance is very good. It projects very nicely for the first 2 to 3 feet, and for about 45 minutes to 1 hour it's very good. After that it starts becoming lighter. After the 1.5 mark it starts to go down even more further. For me, I get about 4 to 5 hours on this particular fragrance. During the 5th hour mark, I still feel this is very light. Okay, now on the whole, that is how the performance is. So in presentation is very same. The scent profile, I told you what are the tiny differences that you would find. The biggest difference, I would say that it's there in the performance and in terms of the signatures that each one of them bring. Now this is like I said, a leaning or dominant coffee fragrance, whereas this is a more boozy, sweeter fragrance. But after the 45 minutes or so, this starts becoming like this, still continuing with that coffee note for a long time, right? Now coming back to the biggest question, what should you get or which one should you get? Now if you have this already with you, then definitely go ahead and pick up this, because this is, although this is built on the same thing, this is completely different in terms of the opening, and it can be worn more casually towards office, casual wear, parties and all of that. And because of that, coffee brings a little bit of a freshness. You can definitely consider this. So that is in case you already have this. But if you don't have this and you've been contemplating to get the Khamrah, and you knew that there was going to be a new release of Qahwa, and you've been thinking, should I get this or this? So the $1 million question is that yes, go ahead and get this better than this, because the fragrance opens up that beautiful coffee note for the first few minutes, and after that, it kind of leans with this or comes closer to this. Although there are subtle differences in notes, but I would say the biggest part is about 80% of the DNA of this is still carried by this particular fragrance. So between the two, if you don't have this, you can definitely get Qahwa, and that is the answer that I would say, that between the two, just pick this if you are comparing or between the two. Now, alternatively is, as my friend Carlos says, that you can simply do one thing. You can give this to your fiancé and you can just go get this for yourself, right? So, but on the whole, both of them are extremely good unisex fragrances, and both of them can be worn in, in similar environments. While I would say that the original Khamrah is definitely not something that you would want to wear for day wear, whereas the Qahwa is definitely something that you can wear for day wear and evening, and more versatile. So another question is, which of these are versatile fragrances between the two, or which is more versatile? I would say this is more versatile to be worn throughout the year and for any occasions as well. So that's another reason. Now in terms of pricing, I think the price point is similar, that whatever this came with. I got the partial for about 1100 or so, which is about a 50 ml partial, and this brand new is about 2100 rupees that I got from Mom Fragrances, right? So if you look at USD, I think it should be about 60 or 70 USD is what you would kind of get, right? So but that is the difference, and that is the biggest thing that we can figure out about these two beautiful fragrances from the house of Lattafa, which are Khamrah. That is like, at this price point, I am saying that you're getting niche level of fragrances, very beautiful quality, no alcohol blast, nothing as such, very unique, very nice signature strength, and something that you can wear very beautifully for any occasions, and you will definitely garner compliments. Very nicely done on the whole, right? And even as a gifting element, these are extremely good gifts that you can give anybody because they are very attractive. Just look at the presentation on this one, and even this, both are really good that way. So definitely, yeah, makes a lot of sense to get either one of these, or if you want to just get one, just get this, right? So you're watching the Perfume Experience, and that has been my quick comparison between the Khamrah original and the Khamrah Qahwa, and which one should you get. So if you like videos like this, hit the like button, subscribe and share. You're watching the Perfume Experience. My name is Rodney. Take care until another time. Bye now.